Good evening. Thanks for joining us at Awaz News. I'm Kubrali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Mississauga woman speaks out after being defrauded of $2,400 by fake Domino's delivery driver. Driver charged in fatal Markham collision. 3 suspects sought after one person stabbed trying to help assault victim at York University. Pet dog dead after contracting avian influenza in Oshawa. Once-in-a-generation shift to remote working leads to record vacancy in Toronto offices. Maple Leafs won't wear themed jerseys for team's Pride Night Tuesday. Toronto Food Bank demands emergency funding from province as client visits quadruple. These were the headlines, and now let's jump right into the details. A Mississauga woman is speaking out after she was defrauded of $2,400 by a man posing as a Domino's delivery driver. The woman, who only wants to be identified by her first name Claire, told CP24.com that she was parked in front of a house in the area of 10th Line and Cactus Gate at around 4 p.m. on March 31st, waiting to pick up a friend of her daughter's. She said that as she waited, a man in his 20s approached, knocked on her window, and explained that he had ordered pizza but could pay for it since the driver didn't accept cash. Claire said the man then mentioned to a silver vehicle parked across the street with Domino's signature fixed to its roof. Wanting to help and having no reason to doubt the man's story, given the seemingly legitimate-looking delivery vehicle, Claire said that she agreed to pay for pizza using her debit card in exchange for cash. But when she went to tap, she said the driver informed her that the tap function wasn't working. She would have to insert her card. She inserted her card, entered information, and even got a receipt for the transaction. She then headed back to her car as the driver handed the other man a box and drove away, but began to get an uneasy feeling shortly thereafter. She checked her online banking, saw that the transaction for pizza wasn't showing up, and decided to call her bank to ease her mind. Within moments, she realized that she had been scammed. Claire said that when she handed the debit machine back to the driver, her card was still inserted, which would have allowed him to covertly switch it out for another one. She said that her bank was able to lock her card, but not before the fraudsters attended a nearby branch and deposited a fraudulent check at an ATM, allowing them to withdraw $2,400. Peel police have told Awaz News that there is an ongoing investigation to the incident involving Claire, though no arrests have been made to date. Police say that they are not aware of any other recent investigations Peel region involving a fake Domino's delivery driver right now, but have heard of similar occurrences in the past. Toronto police are looking for 3 suspects after one person was stabbed while trying to help another person who was being assaulted at York University last week. The incident happened on campus on the evening of March 29th. Police said 3 unknown males approached a male victim and demanded him to hand over his jacket. The 3 males then allegedly assaulted the victim, but he was able to flee from them. Shortly after, the victim saw the 3 males approach and assault another person. When he went to help the second victim, he got stabbed, police said. He sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries. On Tuesday, police released photos of the 3 male suspects who were believed to be between 20 and 25 years old. One of them is described as 6 foot tall, clean-shaven, weighing 180 pounds, with a short black afro. He was last seen wearing a shiny black puffer jacket, blue pants, and black running shoes. The 2 other suspects are believed to be 5'7", clean-shaven and weighing 150 pounds, with short black spiky hair. One was last seen wearing a black jacket with a fur-lined hood, gray sweatpants, and black shoes with white soles, while the other had a brown puffer jacket, black shirt, gray sweatpants, and black shoes. The number of vacant office spaces in downtown Toronto has reached a level unseen in 28 years as the sector goes through a once-in-a-generation evolution, according to a new report. CBRE Limited, the commercial real estate services giant, released the data in their Q1 2023 Canada office figures report, which said the vacancy rate in the city's core rose to 15.3% in the first quarter, the highest it's been since 1995. The numbers are being driven by what CBRE describes as companies continuing to adjust to hybrid work models and office landlords striving to maintain their appeal. Despite the vacancies, the data also showed that office space has continued to reopen in the downtown core since 2022, with a strong demand in the legal, finance, insurance, and real estate sectors because of their traditional working arrangements and gradual return to office directives. However, CBRE said it has observed a muted activity across most other industries and that downsizing, specifically in the tech sector, has contributed to a high rate of vacancy. According to the Strategic Regional Research Alliance, which tracks office occupancy data across public, private and institutional sectors in Toronto, the occupancy rate in the city is hovering just about 40% since the beginning of the year as companies work their way through the implementation of the hybrid model. In their most recent report, the group, which sourced its data from the City of Toronto and its various BIAs, claimed CEOs are reporting that remote work is particularly harmful for youth career pathing, largely because senior experienced employees are staying home at an alarming rate, reducing opportunities for in-person mentoring and collaboration. Outside of Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa both recorded their highest ever office vacancy rates at 16.5% and 13.2% respectively. Vancouver saw their vacancy rate rise to 10.4%, a level unseen since 2004. At a national level, Canada's office vacancy rate is at an all-time high of 17.7%. In fact, the CBRE says 10 of the 12 quarters produced negative absorption, which means more office space was on the market than was leased by businesses. UDEC pointed to places like Calgary, where cities have teamed up with the province and businesses to maximize vacant office space and provide more housing options to those looking to buy their first property. On Tuesday, Tim Hudak, CEO of the Ontario Real Estate Association, told Awaz News the vacancies could actually boost Toronto's low housing supply. York Regional Police have laid charges against a woman in connection with a collision in Markham that left one person dead and another seriously injured earlier this year. Police were called to the area of Burr Oak Avenue and McCowan Road for a report of a collision between a blue Subaru SUV and a grey Hyundai Elantra at around 2:25 p.m. on Jan 14. The 45-year-old man who was driving the Subaru and his 75-year-old female passenger were both transported to hospital with serious injuries. The woman did not survive. The 59-year-old woman who was driving the Subaru was transported to hospital to be treated for minor injuries. Police said that Tuesday that the driver of the Subaru is now facing charge in connection with the deadly crash. Jan Chan of Markham was charged on March 29th with dangerous driving causing death. She is scheduled to make her next court appearance on May 4th. The Toronto Maple Leafs won't wear themed warm-up jerseys for the team's annual Pride Night celebration Tuesday. The organization has held Pride Nights in support of the LGBTQ community since 2017, but has never sported special warm-up jerseys. The Leafs say rainbow stick tape will be available to players during the pre-game skate, and the team has a number of other events planned throughout the night. Toronto players and head coach Sheldon Keefe donned rainbow-themed t-shirts during a Tuesday morning media availability before facing the Columbus Blue Jackets. "I believe actions speak louder than words," really said Tuesday, and especially speak louder than attire. The Leafs will have pride decals on their helmets, but Russian goaltender Ilya Samsonov isn't expected to wear one on the back of his mask. A pet dog has died after testing positive for avian influenza in Oshawa. Public Health said in a statement released Tuesday that the dog, which tested positive for the pathogen on April 1st, is the only case of its kind in Canada. The dog in Oshawa contracted the infection after chewing on a wild goose. It died after developing symptoms, the agency said. The news comes after 2 dead waterfowl in Brampton and Caledon, Ontario, tested positive for the virus in late March. The city said dozens of other waterfowl in areas have also died and are assumed to have the disease. There has never been a human case of avian influenza contracted from a domestic pet in Canada. At this time, the agencies also said there has been no human-to-human transmission. Public Health Canada, in conjunction with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, says it is tracking avian influenza activity in Canada closely. In March, the Toronto Zoo closed its aviaries as a precautionary measure after the virus was detected at a Southern Ontario commercial poultry farm. According to the federal government, the first detections of a current outbreak of avian influenza in animals in Canada were reported in foxes in Ontario, Quebec, and British Columbia, and seals, dolphins, and black bears in Quebec in July 2022. Toronto's largest food bank says it is at breaking point and cannot keep up with the increasing demand for food. During a news conference Tuesday morning, Neil Hetherington, CEO of the Daily Bread Food Bank, said that the solution to addressing the city's food insecurity and affordability crisis is to reduce the number of people who rely on food banks. He's demanding that the Ontario government immediately step up and provide every person on social assistance with an emergency funding top-up, like it did during the COVID-19 pandemic, pointing to record high rates of inflation, rising rents, and stagnant incomes that are causing Torontonians to struggle more than ever before to put food on their table. He said the Daily Bread is doing what it can, but the need in the city is continuing at an unsustainable rate of exponential growth. Last month, the Daily Bread saw an unprecedented 270,000 client visits, the highest ever number recorded in its 40-year history. In early 2020, the South Etobicoke-based charity served roughly 65,000 clients a month. When the pandemic hit, they say 1 in 20,000. That initial number has now quadrupled. The amount of people experiencing food insecurity is also growing at a worrying rate, as about 12,500 new clients are coming to Daily Bread's food banks each month, a figure that is 6 times more than before the start of the pandemic. Hetherington said the Daily Bread Food Bank used to spend $1.5 million on food in a year, but is now spending $1.8 million each month on food, adding while they have ensured that they have the funds to carry on, it's not at a sustainable rate, and over the course of a time 18 to 24 months, the pandemic funds set aside by the Daily Bread Food Bank will be depleted. This could mean that the food bank will have no other choice but to reduce the amount of food clients receive, he said.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.